a district in Minnesota that we've been working with for 7 years. Part of that was my work prior to the Corwin book, and then now when the Corwin book came in, it kind of put afterburners on that work. So I've been able to see actually how, even though the work has been similar, the Corwin materials have been actually the thing that helped carry it deeper into their systemic change. And in that district, there was a lot of contentious issue. There was a lot of struggle, political contention from the very conservative end to the very liberal end. It was a school district that was right up against the city on one side, so highly diverse. The district stretched out to the country, not very diverse racially. They had some segments that were high wealth, a lot of money, others that were in poverty. So a typical American school district with all these differences happening, a lot of political contention. And they had a policy and a practice in the past of not really paying attention to it. They didn't want to stir up the politics, so they didn't talk about a lot of these issues that are underneath, particularly around sexual orientation as well as race. And so what we did through the deep equity process was to begin, and they were a fairly large moderate-sized district with about 50 buildings. So over a course of actually 6 to 7 years, we gradually brought cohorts of their schools in, leadership teams from their cohorts of their schools, and those cohorts got the capacity to deliver the deep equity work in their buildings. And what we found was the tone was shifting. The tone was shifting in the buildings around open conversation. It's not a panacea, it's not a Cinderella story, but what we started seeing was discipline referral rates going down, and they have great documentation. Race-based discipline referral rates going down. Achievement gap scores. This particular district became the district with the smallest race-based gap in their state. So they actually began to close that Black and Latino Native achievement gap, and ended up, 7 years down the process with the lowest race base. They still have a gap. The work is still there. It's not over, but they narrowed it. And I think one of the probably primary outcomes of that conversation was that people gained a conceptual framework and a language, because language is so important in this area, that they could talk about these issues without exacerbating the tensions in the district. They could talk about things in a way that actually allowed them to move on the conversation rather than getting it to loggerheads and being divisive. And the next outcome of that district is that now they have their own internal equity team that is taking responsibility for bringing this forward. I'm probably in my last year there, which I think consultants need to work our way out of jobs. And now they have their own district support team that's going to be carrying on this work. So it's become not just a program, it's become a way of life. It's become business as usual. Whereas 7 years ago, business as usual was divisiveness, don't pay attention to these issues, kind of stuff them down, don't cause a problem. Now I think business as usual is we can deal with the inequities we have. We've seen the gaps close. We've engaged in more meaningful conversations. That's not again, a total solution. The issues are still there, but they're much farther down the road.